Employees kick him, McCall stays calm but penniless, takes the beatings finally. As the mob leaves, the boss calmly exits, reassures his wife, then smiles and keeps doing business. McCall still threatens, reminding the boss of next week's fee. Even unpaid, they reap big profits. They hop on the bikes and zoom off, striking fear in the townspeople, but not for McCall. These troublemakers are already on his hit list. They plan to seize the town, building resorts, hotels, casinos, as Vincent negotiates a buyout. He aims to buy the building for a hotel, but the owner firmly declines. Vincent simply stands up and elegantly departs without a fuss. Then, the landlord's disabled father is unceremoniously tossed out by the mobs. You talk about heartless. They are like savages. McCall and Enzo chat like kindred spirits with endless topics. At the market, McCall is gearing up to buy some fish for himself and Enzo, but the vendor outright refuses the cash. It's because McCall is Enzo's friend. No matter how much McCall insists on paying, the vendor insists it's on the house. The CIA and Interpol show up at the winery, and surprise, see every bottle of wine is hiding drugs. And there's a vault stuffed with cash too. Cameras were shut off just before, and all that's left are bodies and a set of fingerprints. Clearly, it's one person's handiwork. Analysis shows it's a Syrian terrorist operation. They smuggled holiday drugs here, repackaged them, and shipped them back inland sea, avoiding customs like pros. Watch out. If you cross him, you'll regret it. Sea saltwater remedy is the least of your worries. One night, the boss' shop goes up in flames. It's definitely arson. The boss is devastated to see his life's work is going up in smoke. McCall figures it's those ruffians setting the fire, and he turns to spot them in the distance. He's always perceptive, but this time he doesn't take action. Instead, he helps the townsfolk tidy up the wreckage with. One day while sipping tea, McCall is approached by Creans, who says, "Hey, did you know? If you need better photos, I can turn you around," and just like that, Creans feels exposed. Creans has a hunch that taking down the mob tonight might just involve this old dude. As they chat, he becomes more convinced this guy is definitely not just a friendly civilian. Gio reviews the footage and finds the surveillance from before the fire. Spotting a black van, Gio heads to the school only to discover his daughter has been kidnapped. Back at home, Marco catches him after puttering around, and McCall's left looking thoroughly bemused. 3 weeks later, we're back at the restaurant, and Marco is put into action like a dog being shooed away. Being a mob boss, how could this matter just end like this? After leaving the restaurant, Marco orders his men to drive, but then something unexpected happens. See a fast car zooms by. Just then, another car comes zooming in, crashing into one of his guys. The driver doesn't make it either. Marco is left fuming with rage, and then McCall holds up a bottle of wine, while Marco swiftly pulls a knife. McCall just chuckles, not even breaking a sweat. He takes care of Marco effortlessly. See, bullies of the town need to learn a lesson. McCall gazes at Marco, watching him pass with wide eyes. The fate of a villain. Police arrive and find drugs in the vehicle. Everyone in town is now aware of who's responsible. Creans receives a call. There has just been an explosion at the train station. It's a terror attack, and the ones funding it are the drug dealers. Thanks to McCall's intel, Creans informs his boss why so many drugs are showing up in Sicily. There's only one explanation: the mob's trying to take over because it's the most accessible port. With how wild the local dealers are, they must have protection. Subtitles. They track down the police chief, asking to interrogate a few people. The chief screens the list because some are off limits for the CIA. That was Crean's plan all along. According to the dealer's tip, the team found a stash. The team storms the hideout, guns blazing without hesitation. The rest nearly surrendered. The chief learned of the situation. He rushes to the camera's lair, and the atmosphere is tense. Vincent is hosting a funeral for his brother when the chief drops in to warn him to see the CIA is here. A clever woman is on the cusp of figuring out the camera. She demands Vincent stop everything right now, but he is still lost in his grief. She insists to the chief to keep the place on lockdown and promises she'll handle the woman. The chief drawn on, but Vincent isn't hearing a word. And what about the cause of his brother's death? It remains a mystery. Thanks for watching. Want more fun videos? Subscribe.